Hey everybody, welcome to P4CM's The Conversation. I am Jen.
And I am Canden, and today's topic we are going to be discussing boundaries in dating. So we really want to discuss like different things that you do discuss and don't discuss when you're dating someone. But maybe we should like try to figure out what dating actually is. Is it like, it's like before you get married?
So I think there's levels to this, right?
Tell us the
I
levels.
think that dating, while we make it so serious, it's very practical. Dating is collecting data, like on a person. So
okay, but if you're gonna say that, then what data are you collecting? What's too much?
Right, I think that's what we're trying to scale.
I want to have a mild conversation about sex. I want to know what you think about sexual engagement before we even get, like probably the first 2 phone calls. I don't want to have the mindset that like maybe we're building something and if I know that your values aren't the same. That's something I would ask my friends. Like I'd be like, hey Jen girl, can I hold you account? Are you good, girl? So I think that one, I think what you do for a living. Have you seen Married at First Sight? You watched that?
Kinda.
Okay, so there's this couple in there, Mika, and I don't remember what the guy name is. Y'all probably know. Y'all probably seen it. And he kept lying to her about how much he made. And she kept asking him, like, what do you do for a living and how much do you make? And he would like embellish to present himself in a certain way. He had a job, but it wasn't, she made more than him. And so he wasn't my point is he wasn't his true self.
But that's a very personal conversation though. I think that was escalated because of that process. Asking somebody how much they make is very invasive. Like, that is true. Especially if I'm not asking you to pay my bills.
That's like somebody walking in your house like, how much you pay the rent
here? Exactly. Rudeness.
I hate when people do that. I really do. But I'm interested in seeing like how everybody else kind of does this because I have a feeling that more people are more withholding than not. You know what I mean? Like I feel like more people are like, I'm not gonna tell you anything because I don't really know you and I don't really trust you. Than the people who are just like, let me tell you my whole life story.
I'm a very open person, but when you continue to be open with people who don't have longevity, then it makes you kind of put your guard up. And then there's the thing of guarding your heart versus holding it hostage. Like, you know what I mean? Making sure that I'm protecting myself, making sure that I know that you mean well by me before I just put all my cards on the table.
Okay, I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
It probably would be better if we considered these relationships as like long-term friendships before we consider them as like immediate boobs.
Right.
That would help that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But then you feel safe and it creates a safe place. So if I know that we're going to be friends or this is healthy, this is vibrant, and this has the opportunity to be a long-term friendship per se, then I may be more apt to just kind of tell you how I feel without the different barriers. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you're right.
I just think that sometimes, even as Christians, we kind of play this dating game because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be hurt.
Yeah.
Like, it's not on
purpose.
But
is that, how much of that is you guarding your heart and how much of that is you don't trust people? I just feel like we don't be talking about stuff for real.
That matters.
Yeah, I just feel like we be talking about a bunch of surface. So I went on one date with this guy, and it was like the most intense date I've ever been on because he was like, right? He was like, he asked me, he was like, how's your relationship with your mother? First of all, it was the first date, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, and it was a good question, but I just wasn't
prepared.
I had never had nobody ask me that, not second, third, fourth, fifth date.
That was so
like,
late.
Yeah. So I definitely, from that situation, I was able to like learn like, oh, like people do think about things deeply.
So how did that like make you feel? Like, how did that weighted conversation affect you?
I actually enjoyed it. I mean, we didn't continue on, but it was for totally other reasons. I actually felt like it was good because it told me that he was thinking seriously. I think it matters. It shows like what type of people you want to be connected to when you think about their lives and how they think about life. And I need to be a little bit particular about who, because you could be friends and hanging out and dating anybody if you wanted to, but you kind of need to ask some guiding questions to know, like, hey, and maybe that's just because maybe I didn't ask those questions before.
Okay.
So now I'm like, oh no, I'm going to ask you some questions because 6 months down the line, this is something we should have known. Like,
right. I don't want
4
you
months
wasting
ago.
my time.
Exactly.
So I'm a church girl. I've been a church girl my whole life. Like, both of my parents are ministers and stuff like that. But there was some stuff. There's some stuff that I can't say out loud. And maybe with my husband, I will discuss those things. But I just know, like, they're in the vault because sis was off the chain. Like, and the crazy thing is, I was off the chain and people would never expect. Like, let me just, I'll drop one nugget. Like, I used to date a kingpin, like, in real life. Okay. So, like,
so you used to date one of them dudes in the movies that be running stuff from the house.
Like, from the house that they nobody never seen.
Got it.
Like, when he went places, it was 2 cars in the front and 2 cars in the back.
Got it. But you're just saying, like, there's things that you've experienced.
Yeah.
You have to, like, really use discernment before.
Because people wouldn't expect that. So it's because I have that church girl kind of face, or just even story in the church, but I've done some stuff. If my wisdom would allow me to just lay that all on the table the second date. And not because of shame, because, I mean, when you got the victory over it, it doesn't matter.
It's not really like a part of your current
present. Like, it's not like I don't have a temptation to date a kingpin right now. But I think as Christians, we have to be intentional about creating safe spaces for people.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
They can be vulnerable. Ooh. Because one of the things is we tell people, you can show me your scars, and then we judge them.
And then we jet too.
Yeah. And that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have somebody bare their soul to you. Like, because on the other side of that, it's kind of like, if I did wait for a year to tell you that because I'm shameful or I'm struggling to just get that out to you. And then we've laid all of this foundation and I love you. You're like, it's okay for you to leave me open?
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it according to your timeline? That's bogus. But once I show you my scars, like, and you love me and we are in a loving, healthy relationship, ordained by God, like, I expect for you to tough those things out with me, because if we're honest, we're really honest, nobody is coming into this thing perfect.
No.
It's a constant unpacking and an evolution of who we were, who we are, and who we want to be, right?
Come on.
If it takes me a little while to let my hair down, I expect for you to be okay with that.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear, like, what a guy thinks about this.
Mike
is a part of our studio non-audience today. And we pulled him in because we want his opinion. We want you to join the conversation, Mike. So, what have you divulged lately? Are you dating? First tell us, are you single? Are you dating? Are you engaged or married?
I'm single.
Okay.
Dang it, I was gonna come up with a joke, but I don't have one. Yeah, I'm single.
It's okay. Don't build on that. Okay, so you're single?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so what do you think is, what would you want to know from a girl that you were dating, like, in the first couple months? Would you want to know some personal things about her? What have you asked? You have asked somebody?
Well,
I'm so scared right now.
Well, no,
he got my heart palpitating.
Because she said first couple months, and I'm like, back in the day, I knew everything within, like, the first few days. You go deep the first few days, but that's not the right thing to do.
What? Back in whose day?
Back in my before maturity days.
In high school?
No, like a few years ago.
Like yesterday?
Last night?
No, because I used to, like, get in relationships and run through the whole relationship literally in a week.
You had like a checklist, have you ever?
No, not that, but like
they were so quick.
Yes, that go through everything within a whole week. Like, I met you one day and then we going on dates every day after that. Dang. We having like 5-hour conversations.
Yeah, no, that happened.
And then it was like you run through the whole thing and you're like, oh,
there's nothing to talk about.
I just did too much.
Yeah, no, really.
So I need to slow
down. Too much, too fast.
Absolutely.
How are you going to deal with your next relationship?
I think for me, I don't want to be too structured or formal because that's too much in the head. I think I'm learning to feel and learning to not put so much parameters for me. Mm-hmm. Most people probably are like just free and just do anything within dating. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of the opposite, where I'm kind of just like, well, let me not say da-da-da. And I'm trying to get out of that roboticness because it's not okay.
It doesn't take you below the surface.
No, yeah. And I think if I pay more attention to my feelings up front and I'll allow that, then I'll be able to realize up front whether somebody is, whether I'm digging them or I'm not.
What are you looking to learn from that person in the dating process?
Yeah, I feel like within the first few months, that's a long time. So
But you're a quick.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We married by then.
So what? No. Wait. So a question off the record, like, are you into like online dating and stuff?
No. Oh. Well, not for me.
No.
Do you want to tell me the nuances?
We do that every day.
Do you want me to tell you the nuances? So it's a couple of ones that
Wait, I don't need you to give a review on the app. So how are you meeting people?
Oh, I'm out and about anyway, so I meet people all the time.
Okay. No, the reason why I asked that because online dating expedites relationships sometimes. So when you kept saying like, I just zoomed through it, that's why I asked.
Oh,
that's all.
And so I zoomed through it years ago. I'm not doing that anymore. But I still feel within first few months
that you should talk about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But you're ready to get married.
Absolutely. Why are we dating if we're not looking towards getting married?
No. I agree, but I'm just saying. You saying a couple months, because Evan said, 6 months to a year, we're still building. You saying...
How much Evan said he don't know if he want to keep you or not.
Right.
No, that's the problem. If you don't know after a month or so, right? What y'all doing?
I don't think that's the truth in all cases, though.
What y'all doing? Or maybe y'all not spending time or whatever.
No, sometimes it takes certain things have to grow. Like
to know if you like somebody?
Not to know if you like somebody, but it's about compatibility. It's not just about physicality, like attraction. It's more. It's especially being spirit filled and having a purpose and future in God. It's not just do I like you, do our destinies align? Are we going the same way? Do we have the same idea for our future? Like I could love you and you can say, I don't believe in women preaching the gospel and I like you. And you could say, I like you and I want a wife that stays home with my children. And it's not just about, do you like me? Yes, I like you. Check this box. It really is about compatibility and do I see longevity? Because a lot of people get married, but a lot of people not staying together.
No, that's the late truth. So are you asking those questions? Are you more excited about getting to know just who the person is, or are you really being intentional with the questions that you're asking to know if she is right and aligned for your life, as opposed to you just like things about her?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think it starts with the initial liking things about her, honestly, and then it gets to that. All that's discussed soon, though.
Fast. Christians do have a tendency to kind of
fast track.
We're having conversations. We're talking on the phone. We're hanging out. We're spending time. Our conversations are not just, hey, let's just hang out and have fun. Like that's a part of it, but the questions that y'all are asking that's what's going through within. What I was talking about specifically was more like for a God's perspective. If we got you hanging around for a few months and we still try, we know generally within a couple, and if we don't, then we need to reassess. Like, why is it that I still need extra time? Because that'll turn from 6 months to a year to whatever, and then we got y'all stringing along for a long time.
In certain instances, though, like I think we have to be careful in blanketing things because that's your experience now. But since we're talking to a wide audience, you may be 22 and you may need some years. You may be 21, you may be 18, and your dating experience at those ages compared to in your 30s, it's a whole different experience.
Who we talking to? How old are y'all? If y'all not 30, we talking to you, okay?
Oh, okay, but look, Mike. Here's a question that I have. What's something that she can tell you in the first 6 months that would immediately be like deal breaker?
Maybe if she's like into I'm spiritual, but doesn't accept Christ. That's the number one deal breaker. If you're just like, I'm spiritual, or I believe in a higher, okay. If they not following the Lord and pursuing him, I'm not saying like a level in which they got to be, but they got to know who he is and be building towards that.
That's true.
That's really honestly, what else if you have previous stuff in your past, okay, we all do. I don't think I have anything where I'm like, oh, you dated or who so-and-so. I don't need to know everybody who you dated, because what is that going to be doing for me besides me running through, oh, I know that person. That's too much. So I'm fine. As long as you just are pursuing the Lord and got a heart for him, or at least moving towards that, that's really the minimum. I don't think they could say anything. What if they were like, I robbed a bank? Okay, cool. How much you get?
Mike gonna be dating Cleo from Set It Off.
So all you bank robbers out there, if you looking for a man, if you are redeemed and you looking for a man,
you just got out of jail 2 weeks ago, hit him up.
If you carry a razor blade under your tongue,
call 555.
You might like them hood chicks a little.
But would y'all, if somebody said they had a felony or something, would that turn y'all off?
No. I love that.
Felony.
That's my
what
type.
Hold on.
I love it.
I love it.
What constitutes a felony? Like what kind
of felony?
No. But what kind of crime is a felony?
Sex offender.
No. So I'm not doing a sex offender.
Sex offender.
But then I can't even say that.
People who
I can't even say that.
Delivered from that.
I can't even say that.
And then there are people who are falsely accused of things.
Yeah, because you could have had sex with somebody and you were
19
18 and they were 17.
And now you got a whole record for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I can't even say that.
How about, okay, so I don't know though, like the whole crime thing, guys.
No, I'm here for the felony.
I'm fine with that.
In our society today, we have a lot of mental health issues, and that's really come to the forefront. So if someone says to you that they have mental health issues,
that's a good one.
Is that something that needs to be talked about in the early stages or later on?
Like you got bipolar disorder?
That's a good question.
That's good. It's not a deal breaker for me. I think as long as you are compliant. Because as much as I am very contemporary, I'm very like spiritual, and I believe that God is truly a mind regulator.
Yes.
Like I believe that. So, but I do think that if it's going to affect our interactions, and like say you're bipolar and you're extremely up one day and you're extremely low the next day, and I'm trying to figure it out, and you know, like you feel safe with me, I think you should disclose that as we become close. Like if we're talking every day, because I'm gonna notice it. So,
well,
no, I might. I'm just saying.
I'm
not all the time, but if I notice a shift and I'm saying, hey, like, so I noticed on Saturday, you know, we were together and we were having a great time, but then like I called you on Sunday and you were really low, and it was almost like you were dismissive and kind of abrasive. Like, what's up? I feel like I'm opening the door for you to kind of tell me X, Y, Z. Once we build,
the thing is, what I don't like is if we talk about something like that. Like I like that example that you gave, and there's an entryway into it, and you don't take it. And then 2 months later, you tell me. And some people do need time. I can deal with that, but I think feelings and emotions are something that should be dealt with carefully when you're involving another person. And I think that although it may not be easy to give information about yourself, if it's going to affect the other person who is incredibly close to you at the time, I think it's going to be in your best interest and a little bit wiser to do that sooner than later when it comes to things like like emotional disorders.
Or you could be schizophrenic.
Schizophrenia,
like,
that's a good
you know, and or it could run in your family.
Yeah,
like it may not be you, but if your parents suffer from schizophrenia, like I feel like that is something we could talk about if we're really talking about the things that matter. Like we're on the conversation. So I think that overall, people need to really start having conversations instead of these quick chats. And
that piece.
You know what I mean? Like if we really gonna talk and if we're really intentional about getting to know each other, then we're unpacking every chance that we're talking, and we're, you know, not just the heavy stuff all the time. But let's move past what's your favorite color.
Yeah.
Like, let's really dig into some stuff that will affect whether or not we're going to continue to see each other.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a great perspective. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
So, thank you guys for joining us on the conversation. Join the conversation. Comment, send us messages about what you think is too much, what you've shared, what you haven't shared in past relationships, and in your experiences today. And we'll see you next time on The Conversation.
Bye.